thought. This is the One Piece podcast, yet to have a
Alright.
clever fucking name. So I'm sure we'll think of something sometime. The Going podcast. I don't know. We'll figure something out. You guys have any suggestions? Feel free to.
You thought of that one already.
What?
For
We'll just run it. Run
The
through
Going
it.
podcast.
Oh yeah, 100%. So we're here today with PoorBryan up here on the right. Got Razeo on the bottom left. PoorBryan's on Twitch. Razeo's on Twitter and Rumble. And then Kevo is Kevo. He does not stream currently, but
I'm just here.
he just here. He the homie. He actually got me and
homie.
Bryan into One Piece. So
This is true.
yeah, we did a homework of giving people tier lists. So Kev, are you on your Mac? Your MacBook?
Yeah, I'm on my Mac right now.
Cringe. Do you want to present your tier list when it comes to it, or do you want to just send it to me and I present it?
I'll send it to you.
Okay, for sure. And then Raz, do you want to
Yeah.
present or send it to me?
I'll send it.
Okay, for sure. It keeps your guys' orders, right? I feel like.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I downloaded mine. So
Oh, you downloaded
Yeah.
it? Okay, say less.
I downloaded mine too.
Yeah, I still got mine on the internet, but I did take a screenshot of it because I didn't.
I'll send it to
Yeah,
you
I have
through
mine up right now, so I'll just present when mine comes around.
Okay, for sure. Well, fuck, Brian, you want to do yours first?
Oh, okay.
He said, "Oh shit, put you on the spot, my boy."
Okay, I guess.
I'm gonna switch up my YouTube. Let me do that. Watch the screen.
all right. I DM'd you on Discord stuff.
Okay, fire.
So I don't have just disclaimer, I don't have Long Ring Long Island ranked because I've never seen it.
Oh, he's crazy with it. That's fire.
So I'll give you guys some time to let it marinate, and then I guess we'll start questions. after.
Okay. Yo, we have very similar, except one thing. I'm gonna have to fight you for, but it's cool.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Already about to scrap.
Oh, I didn't even know scrap was an option.
Yes, I mean you guys are live in the same city, so you guys could definitely scrap One
Yeah.
Piece.
No, like scrap as in like putting the Davy back arc and like just the bottom.
Oh yeah, he didn't
Doesn't
see it.
matter.
He didn't see it, so
Oh, I see.
yeah.
Yeah, I just left it. I've never watched
It's not even an option.
Oh,
yeah.
and then I do have
Sensei.
something to say. The Summit War, usually people split up into Impel Down and Amazon Lily, but I guess we just kind of hit it all in one. So
Yeah, so what I was thinking with Sabodi is just like kind of encapsulating like all of Sabodi, then Amazon Lily, Impel Down. So I kind of just put out all the way I thought of it was just all that put together.
okay,
Yeah, that's how
Oh, I see. That's fair.
that was my thought process too.
okay, for sure.
Yeah.
Same
then
goes
Summit War
with the
is-
Water 7 and
Ennie's
East Lobby. Yeah.
Okay.
I just assumed those certain parts weren't included. It's its own entity.
Yeah, I kind of like, I don't know. We could touch on them later. Like if we did have them separate, if we would move them around or
Yeah.
not. Because I mean,
I think it should have its own category.
I definitely think Marine Ford is above fucking Amazon Lily for sure. Even though, yeah,
Facts.
that's my opinion though.
Yeah.
But,
No,
so-
I totally agreed. I mean, that's where it kind of takes off anyway.
Cause like the Amazon Lily arc kind of works similar to Revy. It's like a world building arc, kind
Yeah.
of story central.
yeah, true.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
How do you spell Usopp?
Kinda-
USSOP or USOP?
USOPP.
Oh, OPP.
It's a
Fire.
PP.
USOPP. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, you want to laugh.
Team Bay, Brooke. Well, yeah, shit. You want to like give us a little summary of what the heck you got?
Yeah. So I was kind of torn between these two. They're so close to each other that I don't even know what to put above the other. I think if you would have asked me on another day, I could definitely put Marine Ford at the top, or even Impel down at the top. but some today I was kind of, since I recently rewatched Water 7, I'm kind of putting it at the top here because I'm just like, I mean, we kind of touched on it last time. I think Water 7 just kind of has everything, right? Drama, character building, action. It's just everything you kind of want in a One Piece arc. So I kind of want to talk about all my S tiers since we kind of started there, and honestly, these all, and I'm putting egghead here, because right now we are really at the peak.
It really is.
I don't know how far you are now, Sam, but
I am not that far. They just went to the Straw Hats ship, and then spoilers for anyone not here. Like, if you're not here, piss off. But the CP0, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they went to the girl turned on fucking Kaku and the other guy, and
Juicy.
yeah,
Oh,
but
okay, yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she just did it, and Zoro's still like, and then I like kind of just fell asleep and stopped. So yeah, like I'm really at a cliffhanger, but
Yeah.
yes, that's how far I'm at.
Where the manga's at, oh my god, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
now.
the manga. I think it's almost over in the manga, right? Like, I think they're pretty much almost done. Like, I think there's maybe like just a handful of chapters left.
A few more chapters, yeah, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say, but who knows? I mean, we can go anywhere with that.
Very
But
true.
True.
I won't touch too much on this, but I put it at the bottom of S tier because it's kind of slowly creeping right now. But we got you have a lot of good stuff in store. I'll say that, Sam. There's a lot of good stuff in store.
Down.
There's a lot of crazy stuff. Whole Cake is just, for me, it's just a classic. I mean, it's fucking amazing. I mean, Sanji's backstory as a whole, that the development of that, and then you have, the whole mission, the whole mafia mission. I love that shit. And then the crashing the wedding and shit. And then you have the Katakuri fight, which is iconic as fuck. I mean,
Valid.
I
Yeah.
think that's just like peak Luffy right there.
Mhm.
It's just him just like breaking his limits right there, and it doesn't get any.
Little
Oh,
snake
I guess it
man.
kind of gets better than that, but it's definitely in terms of where we are for New World. That's currently peak, in my opinion.
I want to
Okay.
say the Katakuri fight is that's the Lucci fight on steroids.
Yeah, facts.
Yo, very
Facts.
true. It's the Lucci of the New World, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen. I'm just gonna get water. I didn't do that before.
You're good. You're good. Obviously, we kind of touched base on Marineford and Sabodi, Impel Down, Amazon Lily, etc., etc. And I think it kind of goes without saying. I think most people who have seen One Piece can agree that this is probably the culmination of what One Piece is, at least pre-time skip.
Summit War and Sabota. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like that was the peak.
Yeah,
Of pre-time skip.
yeah, exactly. And I don't think there's ever a moment where I was watching everything transition from here to here where there was just not a single dull moment for me. I mean, just everything, I just could not put it down. I was watching back-to-back episodes. I would stay up later. I would watch during work, whatever. It was just like that crazy.
Yeah, everything just seemed. I mean, especially in Saboti, like from the theater where they saw I forget what that mermaid's name is, like where she was being sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the Celestial Drive. Yeah, that so
Yeah, I'm forgetting her name too.
yeah. The auction, the slave
Kami.
auctions. Kami, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was just like one big, like through a course of multiple episodes, it was just like one peak moment, like one giant peak moment.
And then
From
oh, sorry.
and Yeah, and then like it was from there up and like up to the when Kuma teleported everybody.
That's what I was gonna say. And then just the Luffy, the first time you see him with despair.
Yeah.
Like the whole everything up before that point, he's always been so sure of himself, so confident, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's the first time ever you see Luffy like terrified, and then there's also the moment before that happens as well, where they're up against Kizaru, and then Luffy's like, "Yo, we're not winning this fight. Let's dip." Like that's to me is I like seeing those moments from Luffy because it's cool seeing how he knows when he's outmatched.
Yeah.
And
Well, you
then
want to see those flaws too in the
Mhm.
with the main protagonist because they seem more relatable.
Exactly. Much agreed. Much agreed. And then even before Sabodi, kind of leading into it. I mean, you have the one of my favorite gags in the entire anime with Duval.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
that is like my favorite gag ever. Just
Well, there's also some world building in Saboti, you know, like how they introduced the rest of the supernovas.
Yeah, Sam, if you're talking, we can
Yeah.
barely hear you. By the way.
Yeah, I was not talking. I was muted. That was the fake Luffy? Is that Duval?
No, fake Sanji or not fake Sanji. He looks exactly like the Sanji wanted poster.
Oh, yes. Okay, I forgot about
The
that
one
guy.
that was drawn.
Yeah. I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about the two-piece characters.
No. No, that's post time skip.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. It's
Yeah.
true. Yo, I just seen everyone's tier list, and it's pretty funny. So pretty funny. The differences we're gonna have.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And then like I said at the beginning, I mean, for Water 7 and Marineford, I can easily interchange those two. So I don't really want to say Water 7 is above Marineford or even Marineford is above Water 7. I think both are fucking amazing and within their own rights. I think both have absolutely real and relatable moments, especially with the crew. And I think that's mostly what I really enjoy. But when it comes to Marineford, you have Luffy without the crew, which I think is honestly just I don't know. It's just so good. It's honestly fucking amazing. I think we all know how good that shit is.
Yeah, because there's only I think the other only moment of despair with the crew was when the first the going merry when they had to embrace the fact that the going merry was no longer gonna be with them.
Yep.
It was only that, and then when they all got separated by Kuma.
Yeah.
But
No,
but the
absolutely.
separation by Kuma seemed more like it seemed more hopeless because like what's gonna happen now? Like you don't know.
Yeah. And at that point, the crew was all pretty tight knit as well.
Yeah.
So, at that point it's just like, oh shit, like I don't want anything to happen to the people that I care about. And then with Water 7, the drama is like, oh shit, like are we gonna stay together as a crew? Like what are we gonna do? And then
not just that too. Like I mean, because it wasn't too long before Saboti where they where they face another moment of despair in Thriller Bark, like also with Kuma.
Oh,
they got Kuma Light there.
Kuma Light. Yo, can we take a quick break before we get to the next one? Give me 1 second.
You're good.
One.
Time to say goodbye to Starbucks and say hello to Rumble 1775 coffee. Unlike other brands, this coffee that backs free speech and is unapologetic about it. So visit 1775coffee.com. Use the promo code STUDIO to get 15% off. The coffee comes in medium and dark roast. It also comes in pea berry, which is similar to Kona coffee. In other words, this stuff is premium. Click the link in the live chat or the description. You can also go directly to 1775coffee.com and use the promo code STUDIO to get 15% off today. That's the promo code STUDIO at 1775coffee.com to get 15% off today. Thank you. All right, ads read. Thank you guys.
Oh, he was reading an ad. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we stopped at Thriller Bark, and then
No. So I pretty much touched on all of S tier.
okay.
So I'm gonna go the road less traveled here, and we're actually gonna move right to the bottom.
Okay. Though I do want you to
'Cause I think this
see the other
Oh, go
tier
ahead.
list. You only got an hour, you said?
I'll try to stick around as long as I can. But,
Okay, for sure.
Yeah, I had to sleep early tonight.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I send it on Fishman.
So, talk about. I don't think this needs any introduction as to why this is down here.
I do believe we touched on that last time as well.
Yeah, we did touch on that last time.
And then
I guess as a little refresher, definitely the weakest point of One Piece, especially coming after, you get after Marineford, and then not to mention how Ace's backstory kind of slowed things down too. Or Ace and Luffy's rather, sorry, Ace, Luffy, Sabo backstory. That kind of slowed things down heavily right after Marineford. So I think for me, coming back to where the post time skip and we're getting into the new world or close to at least. I was kind of hoping for something very exciting. I think a lot of people were. However, I do want to be a little generous and say I do understand why it kind of had to be a weaker point. But I don't think that kind of changes the fact that it just has a lot of things going against it.
Yeah.
And namely
I agree.
the Sanji gag for that one in particular, just really just like, come on. It's just a come on moment.
Yeah.
I don't understand why a gag like that of that caliber needed to have actual consequences. And then the setup for it too for the ending. I mean, I like the ending where Jinbei is transfusing his blood into Luffy's, or I don't even know how to correctly say that, but
Yeah.
but I mean for the whole Sanji needing a blood transfusion is not the way I would have wanted that to be introduced.
It's funny.
And on top of that, I mean, Horty Jones, very very uninteresting, very
He's very vanilla.
yeah, very boring antagonist.
About
And not even in terms of like pre-time skip either. There's way more interesting villains pre-time I can't talk pre-time skip as well.
yeah. Fucking Vanderdecken.
I think like I think even if we're just talking Fishman villains, I think Arlong was a more interesting Fishman villain than
Exactly.
Yeah.
Horty Jones.
It just Horty Jones just feels like extremist extremist Arlong.
Exactly.
I don't think he even feels like he absolutely is.
Yeah.
100%.
Just terrorist Arlong. It's fucking
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna spoiler it. We all have Fishman very fucking low. Like that's the one thing we do agree on. So that's pretty
Yeah.
funny. Which
Absolutely.
I think we touched on last time as well.
Yeah.
What about Drum Island, man? What's popping with Drum Island, bro?
So I like Drum Island. Obviously, C's not a bad thing,
Yeah.
I like it. It was just for me for East Blue going into Grand Line. Definitely one of the weaker ones for me, at least. Although I will say has one of the most iconic speeches with the doctor.
Oh,
from
Crocus.
the backstory. Not Crocus.
No, Crocus. Forgot his name.
I'm forgetting his name too.
Yeah, whatever. I'll
Chopper's
look
role
it up.
model.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, as much as I like Wapple, but I only like him because of recent events. He just
Hero look.
back then he was just kind of underwhelming,
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I put that there. So should I just go upwards or should I start back here from the A tier? How do you guys want me to do this?
Probably just work your way up, I guess. Like
Yeah.
go to B next.
Okay. Yeah. So, I put East Blue at the top of B tier, because, it's the start. Without this, there wouldn't be all of this, right?
True, true.
But aside from that reason, uh, it's a mixed bag, because you have amazing moments like Baratier where, you have Zoro and Mihawk interacting for the first time,
Yeah.
and the iconic, scars on the back. Scars on the back is a swordsman's shame. And then you have Arlong Park, which is probably the peak of East Blue. I think most people can agree on that.
Nah, fam. Chow Chow. Chow Chow's backstory. Peaky Blue.
Well, we agree to disagree.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I'm just kidding. Arlong Park's fire. Arlong Park's fire.
No, yeah. And I love Buggy as well. From here and going onward, it's just I think Buggy is just probably one of my favorite characters. Not of all time, but he's up there for sure. Yeah. Zoe, I put below that just because Zoe's, it's just set up. Not to say there aren't good moments that come out of Zoe, of course.
Yeah.
But it's obviously not like, not here.
No, 100%.
Yeah. I don't think I need to elaborate too much on that. Punk Hazard, kind of the same. Although there's a lot going on in Punk
One
Hazard.
sec. Kev,
Yes, sir.
we can hear you typing. If you could mute
Might be.
while you type. No worries, no worries. Just kind of hit clickety clack.
Clickety clack.
So yeah, Punk Hazard like touches on.
But yeah, I really do like Punk Hazard though. It's fun, and I love Caesar Clown as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking laugh.
That's another reason why I love Whole Cake, by the way. Gangster Gastino.
Oh yeah, true. The,
but anyway, and we have more development for Law, so there's a lot of interesting moments there. Actually, you know what? I might want to put Punk Hazard above Zoe now that I think about it. There are a lot of good moments in Punk Hazard. It's one of the shorter arcs, much like Thriller Bark. And it's fun. I have nothing really bad to say about it. It's just, again, it's not really quite up there.
Yeah.
And Reverie, obviously, we kind of touched on this with kind of the talking about Amazon Lily. It's literally just all lore. I mean, that's really all Reverie is. It's just world building and lore.
Yeah.
And I like that. Got no complaints.
It's fair.
A lot of good moments come out of Reverie.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people, I don't know about you guys, I think a lot of people would be upset about me doing this.
What,
Wano?
Wano being at the top of A tier and not anywhere in S. And I love Wano. I think Wano's great. I think Wano is very well paced. There's a lot of good things that happen in Wano. But it's a lot of action, a lot of stuff. It's the climax, this especially for the Akazaya 9. I think that's the biggest thing about Wano. It's their story, really. And that's cool. And I like that. I fuck with that, but it's just not a whole lot of big straw hat moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
And that's my big reason why it's not really up there. A lot of stuff happens, a lot of great moments, and we have Gear 5. Classic, iconic, right?
Yes.
That one's gonna go down for the books.
Drums of Liberation.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it obviously I'm not saying it's bad. It's just I think there's just stronger moments in One Piece.
I feel like it also hit badly because of how the build-up was. Because it started way back in Punk Hazard with the introduction of the samurai and Momosuke. And then
technically before that, Thriller Bark.
was way back with
Ryuma.
Thor Park. Oh yeah, with
that was a mention.
Ryuma.
Corpse.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but yeah, it's just how it came up to be, and with the talk of like how Oda has been working on Wano since like the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah, that definitely could have been better.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. For what should be his magnum opus, right?
Mhm.
Now,
Now Thriller Bark, I absolutely love. I loved in the beginning. I'm currently rewatching it right now with my girlfriend. I still love it. It still holds up. Um, Nothing more than the fact that it's just a fun arc. Out of all the short arcs, this is the strongest one by far. Just in my opinion, it's just there's so many great moments, especially just coming right after Water 7. So it's nice. It's a nice way to kind of come down from the high as Water 7, but you still have a lot of amazing moments in Thriller Bark. I mean, obviously, I don't really think Gecko Moria is one of my favorite antagonists either. However, I think it doesn't really matter to me that much when you have moments like the Usopp and Perona fight, or you have the Laboon reveal about Brook, or even just the Brook backstory, or even just the end with nothing happened.
Yeah,
So
That's true.
that's why this is as high as it is for me. I absolutely live for these moments in
dude,
One Piece. Like, and as mundane as it might seem, I think that's what its strongest suit is. It's just the Straw Hats just kind of adventuring and just fucking around and finding out. You know?
yeah, I did love the Perona Usopp where he's like, I'm already negative.
Yeah,
you can't do shit to me. I love that part.
And that's just one of my favorite fights of all of One Piece because I love Usopp. So for him to have a moment like that, it's great.
Yeah.
Dressrosa. I think. I think probably some people would probably put this lower. I would say. But I like it. You know, I know I've talked to some people where they say they don't really care about what's the whole story of everybody becoming dolls or the backstory of Kiros and Rebecca, but I love it. You know, I think those are some nice moments in One Piece. And Doflamingo, one of my favorite. I'm gonna say that a lot. One of my favorite X.
Yeah, he's
But-
he's my second favorite. He's right below Kaido for me.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's a badass.
Yeah.
Like, he's a piece of shit, but like it makes
I
you
love it.
hate
But
him,
he's
but also like him. Like, you know.
No, I fucking love him.
Yeah.
I
like as a
fucking love him.
villain,
And
he's
as a
good
villain, but
Yeah.
also like, how is this guy that's such a shithead so loyal to his fucking crew?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that.
true.
I love that. I don't know.
I never thought of it that way, honestly.
Yeah. I love that so much. Like the whole thing with Pika, he's like, ain't nobody talking shit on his voice. You know, like, like hey, you talk shit on my crew, I'll fucking beat your ass.
Yeah.
And then Senior Pink. We talked about Senior Pink last time. I love Senior Pink. What else? I don't know. It's just overall just pretty good arc.
Is that the first
if
Bounce
you ask
Man?
me. First Gear 4 in general.
First Gear 4 in general, yeah. First Gear 4 in general. Okay, that's an event right there.
Yeah, so
And
that's another event as well.
And then my goat Fujitora shows up. So
Fujitora,
yeah.
exactly. And then I had another thing. Oh, Corazon.
Oh, Corazon, yeah.
Corazon.
Oh yeah.
My absolute
favorite.
Now I'm not just saying this, but my actual absolute favorite backstory character. Yeah, I fucking love Corazon. He's awesome. I actually went to an anime rave last week. I was dressed as Law, and I saw somebody dressed as Corazon, and that was everything I needed. It was fucking awesome.
That's fire.
It was sick. Yeah. But yeah, that's about it for just Rosa. I don't really, unless something else comes to mind, but that's all I can really think of at the moment. But yeah. Now I'm pretty sure when it says Baroque works, it's talking about all of Alabasta, including before.
Yeah, that's kind of what
And
I assumed too.
I put it up here, and it's definitely because of I mean, all of it's bias, of course, but definitely less objective than I could. It's the least objective pick here on this list, and that's just because Alabasta is what kept me going for One Piece. Once I hit Alabasta, I was like, okay, yeah, One Piece is actually a banger, because it kind of took me a while to get through East Blue, and then into Grand Line, and then Kevin knows I stopped at Little Garden. Oh, I even talked to you guys about this. I stopped at Little Garden for a while, and I think I mentioned too, if I knew what was just there right beyond the horizon, I would have just kept going, and that's what Alabasta is for me. And yeah, it's good moments. First major arc, right?
Yeah.
And it's a banger. Skypiea, I know most people. I don't think you guys would disagree. Maybe you would. I don't know. We'll see. But Skypiea, definitely a hard hitter. It has some slow moments, and yeah, Wiper probably kind of annoying, but I think Anel is the perfect antagonist for this arc. And of course, there's all the world building, there's all the lore, and all the important stuff that becomes very relevant in current One Piece. But at its core, just as I said with Thriller Bark, it's just the Straw Hats adventuring, just wanting to see more and do shit and just fucking around and finding out once again. I mean, they just happened to enter Skypiea in the middle of a war. I mean, they have to be probably the luckiest crew of all time. Just for
Luck
shit
is
to
a factor in the world.
What was that?
Luck is a factor in the world.
Exactly. Because no matter where they are, there's always some shit going on. And that's it. And of course, I've never seen Long Ring Long Island. I don't particularly intend to, but maybe I will at some point.
100% fair. All right, then I'm gonna present Kevin's, because that one, woof.
Yes, sir. But
Why do you gotta throw me under the bus like that, man?
Any closing thoughts you guys wanted to speak on? What do you guys think? I do want to know.
I ranked a few things differently, but you pretty much made a lot of good points.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There was one thing that I had a significant difference than you, but that was I mean, you'll see it in a little bit.
To see that.
Right. So let me share my screen.
And you said something also, Kevin? I didn't hear you that well.
No, I think it's a valid list.
Okay, for sure.
Let's see. So let's do this. Oh, and that's fucking.
Whoa.
Yeah. We're coming. Okay, and then this is all Kevin's list.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Egghead at the top.
That's crazy.
Egghead at the top, huh?
Dude, Egghead is fucking wild right now with what's going on.
Yo. Explain yourself, sir, Kevin.
That's crazy.
Right? Because that's like the most major events going on. Like, because I'm basing this off the manga. And
okay.
With what's it called, Vegapunk's current announcement going on, just being like, I won't share too much details, but like being broadcasted and not broadcasted, his message or final message, Oh my god, the trope tunnel.
I'm sorry. Hold on, let me try and change this up a little bit, where I could stream the fucking. don't know how to do that. Okay, whatever. We'll just have it like that. Fuck it. Because I wanted to get our heads still in there, but I'm tripping.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, and then it's like finally the five elders just like taking a step up. Like we've always seen them just like plotting in the background, and to finally see them like take action is kind of just like, dude, we've been waiting for like 20 years for this, and then it's just like fuck, and then as well as with the what's going on with the who currently showed up again to the island, which is also like way back when, before even crossing into the Grand Line, right? Dory and
Wait. Let's not get too crazy into it, my boy.
Okay. Yeah. See, I can't talk about certain parts because that's how ahead it is.
Yeah, but
so we'll just leave it at that, okay?
It's fire. That's what he says.
It's fire.
But so I do kind of have a little like not a disagreement, but when you're in the arc itself, you're like, oh, this is amazing. Like, I don't know. That's just kind of like, so I'm a little weary of the Egghead top tier. Just because.
Also, it's because like it's fucking Vegapunk, bro.
No, yeah. We have been talking about him for fucking ages, and then like you said, the fight.
Like all these like the build up just being thrown at us right now.
True, it's
compared to Wano.
I think the first time Vegapunk was name dropped was during Water 7, right?
I think so. When
because Frankie and
with Frankie, yeah.
Not just with Frankie. Also the
Pluton
Spandam with the sword.
Oh, true. Yeah, very true.
Oh yeah, huh? Yeah.
Because of O'Hara and all that shit. So. Okay. Well, all right. Let's not go too deep into Egghead.
Okay. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we'll go down to the A list with Revy. Revy was just like, it was really interesting to watch. Like, it didn't even have like any like crazy fights and whatnot. It was just more like story for me. That was just very interested to see what's going on outside of the pirate world. There's like other things going on that are like influencing the military's actions as well as the elders' actions now that we realize. And then only reason why Whole Cake isn't higher on the list is just cause like it's a good series, but like I felt like the wedding thing kind of dragged out. Pudding was annoying. But yeah, the overall good fight with Luffy and Katakuri. That's the reason why I watched One Piece. When it comes to Dressrosa, Dressrosa was just really entertaining to watch because you got to see like most of the crew and the actual result of the 2-year training compared to Fishman, where they just swept them,
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
And then
True.
Water 7 was a good arc just because like it highlighted the entire crew pretty much. Like everyone got their spotlight in the fight. Nami got a spotlight, Zoro, Sanji, Luffy.
That's true.
I think Usopp or So King had the flag burning moment.
True.
Yeah. Robin had her moment.
Chopper went monster on him.
Chopper went a monster on him. Oh yeah, Chopper had his moment. Yeah, see.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then Frankie had his moment, and then that's when he joined the crew. Yeah, Water 7 was great.
Sorry, one thing I wanted to touch on, if I may.
Go ahead.
For Water 7 that I forgot to mention earlier is nobody can tell me that they didn't cry when the Going Merry got burned.
I didn't cry, but I definitely like felt sad. Like it was one of the sadder moments for me, definitely.
I should say. I guess I should correct that and say choked up.
Yeah,
I got choked up. Yeah.
The Usopp and Luffy fight,
especially with that with the slow piano background music.
Oh,
I
they know how to get you.
Yeah,
it was very melancholy, very somber.
Okay. I got something. Summit War and B tier, my boy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was B tier, man.
That's crazy.
Because I look back on it, I had to think about the fights. I'm like, yes, it was a war, so it's kind of just like everyone is like ape shit, like battle royale. No, like 1v1s. But I don't know. I'll explain. I'll explain. Give me time.
Get there when you get there.
We'll get there. That finishes A list. When it comes to Zoe was entertaining to watch, just because. Yeah, I don't got much explanation for that one.
Don't really need it.
Yeah, don't need it. Shabodi was fun because that one was like a good it was a reality check for everyone. I would say. Because it's like everyone's like we talked about how it was kind of like foreshadowing with Zoro saying how like, oh, we're not a bunch of kids playing pirate, we're out in the real world. And then for them to show up in Shabodi and then just get swamped on, then it's like, yeah, we could actually die in doing this.
That's true. That's a moment I forgot about actually too. So that's a good point to bring up.
Some of it was fun. You saw Whitebeard, you saw the first of the Yonko. So then it's like everyone's like, oh shit, this is like the actual superpower.
Yeah, because he was hyped up before then as the strongest man in the world, and you finally get to see him in action.
Exactly. And then it was like, yeah, and we saw that. We saw like him, the Yonko and his crew and what they could do. But yeah, I mean, I don't got much else to go off on that. And then
sorry. My question then is what makes you put something like Whole Cake or Dressrosa above Subodi or Marineford?
Dressrosa just cause like, yeah, I would say I was more entertained to see, or because I was really hyped up for Gear 4. So that's what I'm kind of biased towards that as well.
That's fine.
And then Whole Cake I was like really hyped up for because that's what got me into it. And then let's see. Trying to see. But yeah.
And then
I don't think Luffy did much fighting in the Summer War. It was more of just like, well, he didn't plan on fighting. He wanted to save Ace, but like, yeah, it was more like, let's get the fuck out of here.
That's true, and not to mention he didn't have the power to step up to somebody like an admiral. Well, I mean, he tried to, but you know.
Actually, that's a really good point. That was just really all emotion, even after he just got checked in Shabodi. Like, now we still gotta go. And then that was just a good little reality check for him. Character development.
Sure. I see.
Wano, it's just because of the fucking build-up. The fucking build-up just like really off-putted it. Everyone got a good fight, like Zoro, Sanji, Nami. The whole crew got their fights, but it's just the build-up just took fucking forever.
I mean, 200 fucking episodes.
That's true, definitely.
Yeah, that is really true. I mean, basically, we didn't even get into any like real fights until part 3 at Onigashima.
Yeah. Fucking I mean, then there's not only the build up within the 200 episodes, but it was the like we heard about that shit back in Thriller Bark. So kind of like you guys were saying, Oda was working on it from the beginning, but then it didn't quite deliver as from y'all's perspective at least, because I have a different point of view. But
Odin, I will say Odin's backstory is fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah, dude, he hardboiled the shit. That's my boy.
Let's see. So East Blue, I feel like C position is pretty good because it's just the build up of One Piece, how slow it is at the start, and just everyone just building up the crew pretty much. So it's like mid tier. Baroque works. I don't know. Yeah, there's not much highlights I can think of other than Vivi. and then we haven't seen her for since fucking forever.
That's kind of wild, my boy. Not Ace showing up, my dude.
He's showing up. He was kind of just like,
Man.
you know, just that goofy. I don't know.
Okay.
It is kind of sad to see that Ace was kind of at this point kind of made to be like someone super strong, and then he just just for him to just
Yeah, you know,
spoiler. But I mean,
Yeah.
most people know this, but he ends up dying at Marineford.
because it's only.
Without-
No,
Well,
go
to
ahead.
be fair, he did have shackles. He did have deceased him with shackles on him, so he couldn't do shit.
Yeah,
But it
No, I
did
feel
well.
like
but
with
outside of
him
that, he
being
didn't really
dead
have much
now, it's just like
moments.
Oda's just adding details towards his story. Instead of in the beginning, everyone just knows him as, oh, here's Red Hair Ace or Red Fire Ace. You know, here's just the title we give him, and then everyone just all scared.
So, yeah, and then they kind of just replaced his ass with Sabo later after they, took
Yeah,
him out
exactly.
for the
Yeah.
character building. So
Yeah.
I could kind of feel where you're getting
And Sabo gets way more moments than Ace ever did.
at. True,
Mhm.
true.
Yeah, that's kind of how that works.
Yeah. I mean, really, the biggest thing that Ace really had outside of showing up in Alabasta is the fight with Blackbeard, which was one episode only.
Yeah, exactly.
And in Wano, like Wano kind of also gives him
Yeah.
a little bit more
Yeah.
backstory, even after he
True.
died.
True. But I am talking pre-time skip, though.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That was Baroque.
But yeah, sorry guys. So Baroque works. Is Baroque works including Alabaster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would say yeah. It was a good fight for little Luffy. Only reason why I don't put it higher is just because of how goofy it was, the way he defeated Crocodile. You know, because now like as we get further in, Crocodile's just like all of a sudden gonna know hockey, and it's just like I don't know, it's gonna fuck with the story or
Yeah,
continuity.
I will say they did kind of do like a bit of a retcon because originally his bounty was like when they said at the beginning of the story it was like 100-something million, right? Before he became a warlord, and then
Yeah.
now like in current spoiler, it's like in the billions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, exactly. But then it's just like, I don't know. Then it
Yeah,
leads to
Crocodile is one
weird-
of those retcons, like retcon characters for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you get the weird gray area. It's like, oh, fucking bounty's power level, and then all that dumb shit.
Yeah, no, untrue.
One thing that is puzzling too, I mean, because I think because the way he reacted to Whitebeard in Marineford, it sounded like he knew he knew Whitebeard before the Alabasta events.
Mhm.
So he was obviously in the New World before Alabasta. So that tells me, I
Probably.
mean, like I'm just assuming that he already knew about hockey even before Alabasta.
See,
Yeah,
it's all that weird retcon stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, and then for his bounty to be that low, if he was in the New
Yeah.
World, makes no sense.
Fucking Oda forgets about hockey and
Yeah, so many times.
Yeah. That's funny.
Let's see, and then Skypiea is just it was interesting to watch, not too like captivating until like later on afterwards. Now everyone's like looking back on Skypiea like, oh my god, like all these references, blah blah blah. Whereas, whatever. Thriller Bark is like,
Hot take.
yeah, hot take indeed. Thriller Bark is Thriller Bark. It was entertaining to watch. Brooke joining the crew was fine. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Punk Hazard was cool because we got to see a team up from one of the the first team up from the worst generation, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Was Law the first team up?
Well,
Well,
technically there is
Apo
there was
guy
Kid,
and Kid and all them.
Apu, and
The Hawkins?
No, but like the team up regarding the Straw Hat crew, I meant.
Oh,
Oh,
Luffy with a new.
And
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, because like later on, then we started seeing the trend of him like joining with Benji in against Big Mom, and then against Kaido, and and then now with Bonnie. Oops.
True.
Sorry.
No, I know that. But yeah.
Okay. But yeah. So then, now that we're gonna go to a certain island, there's a certain Worst Generation member we have yet to see come together, and this certain Worst Generation member we saw can grow in size. So that's exciting to see.
I forgot who that is.
I wonder who it is. And then
Yeah, don't tell me.
Yeah.
I want to see it for myself.
And then Drum Island was villain Warpool was like very underwhelming. He was annoying. Only reason why it's not any lower is just because Chopper joined. Chopper's story was sad. So yeah, that's why it's at C. But it's his fault that he died, so that's why it's at C too.
I'm weak as fuck. Yeah. I feel like we could
I'd have to say Chopper hot take from me real quick is
It's
not
totally his fault.
is definitely not up there with my favorite characters.
Agreed.
I don't hate Chopper, I don't love him either.
For time, I feel like we could skip these two. Because we all had pretty much the same fucking thing. So,
we can skip those.
Sure.
Yeah, let's just skip those. So I'm gonna bring up Razeo's then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I want to say one last thing about Chopper. I really hate how stupid he is. Like the whole shit when they got into the new when they got into the time skip, and then he actually thought that the fake Straw Hats were them.
Yes.
I'm just like, bro, why?
Right.
Why? But anyway.
Here's Razeo's list.
Once
again, have the Fishman and Davy at the bottom, as we all do.
All right. So let's. So I'm gonna start from the bottom to the top because I like ending it with on a positive note.
Okay.
So let's see, Davy back. So honestly, with Davy back, when I was first binge watching the series like many years ago, the rumor was that it was a filler arc. So I totally skipped watching that. And then I later found out, like, no, wait, it's actually a canon arc. So I had to go back and watch it over. I honestly forgot what happened. Like, it just did not, it didn't really make a lot of impact on me to even remember what happened in it. So, yeah, so I just put it like way in the bottom.
Segue, but I feel like Oda's gonna come back to it and make it like some kind of canon thing where
it's not
like,
even
that's
in
how
the
they
manga.
were established.
I wouldn't be
like
surprised.
30s, I think.
When it like I don't know, I'm just kind of I haven't seen all of it yet, so I don't know. But if it ever comes to Shanks versus the Straw Hats, they're gonna Davy backfight or some stupid.
That's
shit
what
like,
some people are saying.
Yeah.
Like now that you mention it, some people have been saying that.
Yo,
because I mean, I don't see Shanks' crew. I mean, obviously there's a chance that they might compete for the One Piece, so they might do that. You never know.
Yeah, it might not full on scrap, but
Captain to be like, hey, Captain, and then you see those like the
what?
Hello.
Oh,
cut out.
You just cut out there.
Okay. Well,
Uh-oh.
let's hold that note. And yeah, do you have anything else? What'd you say?
Oh yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you cut out for like a good moment.
No, did his headphones die?
Okay. Maybe audio cut out.
All right, is it?
Yeah, better. It's better.
Yeah, you're good.
Better, way better. Yeah.
Okay. So the earphones are actually a dead cause. That's disappointing. But what was I saying? I lost track. What was I saying?
Okay, then let's keep it going.
What were we talking about again?
One of these two D-tiers.
Oh, the theory, the Davy back fight.
Yeah, the Davy back fight with
Shanks.
Shanks, possible Shanks, and Straw Hats. But so yeah, that's a Davy back fight. Fishman Island, I think you guys pretty much explained most of it. I didn't really. Yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of Hody. Yeah, it was just very underwhelming after something as big as a time skip. I think the fights think the purpose of the fights was just to kind of portray, because the way I looked at it was that Hody's crew was like kind of like maybe like top tier. Like if we're just talking like strength wise, I think, or battle potential, I think Hody's crew was just top tier pre time skip. You know, as far as capabilities go, and I think the purpose of the fight was just to kind of measure, give the viewer like a portrayal of how far the strats have progressed. I did like Luffy's promise, or Jinbei's promise to eventually join Luffy's crew, and then how like Jinbei transfuses blood to Luffy, kind of like giving like a permanent truce between humans and fishmen. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, the cons for me in Fishman Island, the cons very much outweighs the pros though.
Agreed.
Not a terrible arc, but nowhere near. It was below average to me.
Agreed.
But yeah, there's so the Thriller Bark. The Thriller Bark again wasn't a terrible arc. I probably should have ranked it like in the upper C, or maybe even the lower B. A few of the things that I like about Thriller Bark was I like Zoro's fight with Ryuma. Pretty much gave you some foreshadowing into Wano. Also, I wasn't really a big fan of I really found what's his name,
Moria.
Moria. I really did. He really annoyed the hell out of me. Like even the first time I watched it.
That's fair. That's a very fair assessment.
I think that's one of the reasons why I really hated the arc. It was because of Moria. Yeah, that laugh. I hated that laugh.
I think I hate Absalom more than I hate Moria, to be honest.
Like, I don't know, because there was this one anime that I tried watching a few years ago, and the voice actor for the main protagonist was really annoying. I couldn't watch the anime. What's it called? It's Demon.
Black Clover.
Black Clover. Is that the one? Yeah, Black Clover.
Yeah, that's like kind of as soon as she said protagonist had a very annoying voice, I immediately thought of Black Clover.
Yeah, okay.
He's the demon, and I was like, okay, yeah, probably Black Clover.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I could not watch Black Clover. I mean, someone recommended that I read the manga, so I'll probably get around to that eventually. But yeah, so I think, so back to Thriller Bark, I think Moria was probably a big portion of Thriller Bark. I just found his voice really like it was nails on the chalkboard to me. I did like the teamwork with the Straw Hats, defeating him. I like the touch with Shadow Luffy.
Yeah,
I like that part.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I do want to say, because you brought up something that made me remember why I particularly love it and why I placed it as high as I did. That's probably one of the only moments where all the Straw Hats are fighting the one big bad. Like all of them together.
Like big team up.
Yeah.
Ever since the Buggy, they did that for Buggy, then they did it for fucking Gecko. But there's more of them for Gecko, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
But anyway,
I know Lawful.
But a couple other things about Thriller Bark. I did like Brooks joining the crew, and I did like the Laboon. I did like the Laboon backstory. I think that was one of the better parts of the arc. Also the part with Kuma, of course, the nothing happened part. Like, I mean, that's when I started. That's when Zoro like kind of. Like after watching that part, like Zoro pretty much cemented himself as my favorite character. Also, again, like the portrayal of like Zoro sacrificing himself. It's another one of those things. Like what's going to happen next? It kind of gives you that like that doomsday feeling, just for one of the characters, at least for me.
Mhm.
What else about Thriller Bark? I think that's pretty much it. Drum Island. I can kind of I do agree with with um with Kev's part, or like I don't know which one of you guys said like that thing about Chopper, like you're neither
I think
love nor hate him.
I think we all kind of agreed on the
Yeah,
same thing.
Yeah.
Essentially.
yeah. Yeah, again, like Drum Island, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like it was just below average for me as well. Nothing nothing really like nothing really like shout like nothing really flashy as far as anything I can remember from Drum Island. Honestly, like it's probably another arc that I should watch again. Um, don't remember a lot of the backstory from that. Um, yeah, but Baruch Works again. Like one of them, I think it was the first major arc. Like one of you guys pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
I did like one thing I do like is that it was the first arc I believe that introduced the poneglyphs.
Oh,
So
yeah,
Yeah.
so
true.
it so
Yeah,
it so
yeah.
it did. I think it was the first arc that pretty much
Literally.
opened up the world and the lore of One Piece. And I think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the arc that pretty much kind of like encouraged Oda to like prolong the series or prolong the story, because I think his original plan was to like have it stop in the Grand Line, right?
Hmm. Interesting. I didn't even know that tidbit.
That's wow. We're supposed to die immediately. Get to the Grand
Yeah,
Line
because I
and
think his
drown.
original plan was to just have it with the original 5 members. No, I know, I know Chopper was already with the crew
Mhm.
in Alabasta, but I think I don't know. Like I just from what I understand, this is just something that I heard like years ago. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. But his original plan was to just, because if you guys remember, like in the East Blue arc, like everyone's dream was just to get to the Grand Line, right? Like that was
Yeah.
Luffy's main. That was like Luffy's main line. Like he just wanted to go to the Grand Line, and like I don't know, like be Pirate King, but he never really elaborated beyond the Grand Line.
Yeah, right.
That's true,
Um,
and that would explain some of the retcons as well.
yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, so for Baruch Works / Alabasta, like I I mean I would have, again, like I probably would have ranked it higher. But I think compared to all the other arcs, I think C is right where I think I should have put it. His fight with Crocodile was pretty good. I think it was I mean him splashing himself with water, like I know it's a retcon, but it did involve a little bit of creativeness on Oda's part, like with the water, because
Against the
he put a
Logia.
bit of, yeah,
Yeah.
it put a bit of like some elemental, like some elemental components in that, like water with sand does make sand more solid. So
Yeah.
He did have to
yeah,
create a uniqueness with such an OP power when it came to Logia before the
yeah,
introduction of hockey. Yeah,
yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah.
But still
Just
too
like
goofy.
I mean, I liked how he used his blood
Yes.
on the very last part where he got like pretty
yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
See, if Luffy had like gotten a knife and cut himself a bunch of times and covered himself in blood to fight him, then that would have been funnier or way more interesting than like the bucket of water.
That's fair.
The
But Luffy is
Minecraft.
pretty goofy in general,
That's true too.
and he's kind of a child. So I do for me appreciate that kind of creativeness and goofiness.
Fair enough. It is
Yeah.
within character.
Mhm.
They may hit
A
the
lot of his fights does have a goofy aspect to it.
Yes.
I mean, it's probably because of his powers too. I mean, like a rubber man does have goofy powers.
Yeah, look at Gear 5. That's the goofiest, you know.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, all of his I think his least goofy form is probably Gear 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That or Gear 4 even, I'd say.
Yeah, or Gear
Like,
4, yeah.
Outside of how goofy like some of the physics are, of course, but kind of get to a point where Luffy has gotten to a point where he's like taking things pretty seriously as well. So, but then
Yeah.
you get to Gear 5, and then he's like very free now.
Yeah. For sure. I also like it also has one of Zoro's favorite fights for me. The Mr. One fight I think was pretty intense. I like the choreography in that fight. Like even though with the old school animation, it's very well. It's during the time when like it was most. I forgot what term people use. It's a term in and it's a term in animation. I forgot what I
Like
forgot what word.
rotoscoping.
Yeah. Yeah, I just like how it was.
Kind of.
I just like how it flowed.
I actually have to agree with you there. The Mr. One and Zoro fight is very good, and then the first moment where Zoro really learns how to cut anything other than people. He learns how to cut through block, and he mentions cutting through iron, or I believe, or something.
Not cutting paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that quote by his master. I forgot what it is. It's something like a true swordsman can cut nothing if he wants to, or something like that. Like a true swordsman can cut everything, but can cut like something along the line. I don't know. I'm just paraphrasing.
He can choose when he cuts. Like that's why he slashes the paper but doesn't cut it, or like the leaf. But then he could slash through steel because it's the control of the swordsmanship. Is kind of what they like touched on.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, that's Baroque works for me. And then moving over to B. Yeah, so I ranked Dressrosa like lower B, like B minus. Wasn't that bad, but I feel like it was very very prolonged, I think. The pacing felt really I don't know, it's just something about the pacing felt really extended. But compared to something like Fisherman Island, where the cons far outweigh the pros, I think for Dressrosa, the pros far outweigh the cons. I do like Doflamingo's backstory. I think it's one of the best villain backstories out there.
Agreed.
I'm a big fan of like really dark villains. I think Doflamingo is hands down the darkest villain in One Piece.
Yeah, that's actually something I forgot as well. I apologize for interrupting.
Oh no, you're good.
But yeah, I think he's like one of the only villains, one of the only antagonists to actually have a fully fleshed out backstory.
Yeah, for sure.
I think about it.
But
yeah,
but like not the only one, but like
fully fleshed out.
Fully fleshed out.
Yeah,
I felt like Big Mom's was pretty fleshed out.
You know what? You're right. Actually, you're right. I'm forgetting all of them. I totally forgot about that one. Okay, yeah. They're the only two, because then Kaido's backstory is like what, like only like a couple scenes, right?
Also lackluster.
Yeah, Kaido's backstory was underwhelming.
Although I guess he doesn't really need a backstory when it just comes to he's just
him.
He's just a strong guy. Just wanted to be very strong. But people like Doflamingo, like he has motivation. He's actually like a leader.
Yeah, it kind of. I guess I well actually not. I just lost my train of thought mid sentence.
I felt
But
that.
yeah. So for Rosa, like more about I do like the reintroduction of Sabo. I think I did read the manga first, but I think I like the anime better. Um, as far as just this one part of it, like I think the reintroduction of Sabo kind of hit me harder in the anime compared to the manga.
Mhm.
Felt more emotional. Uh, like like just Luffy reuniting with his long lost brother. I think that's just pretty cool.
Mhm. Especially after
Oh
he thought he was dead.
yeah. Um, what else? Yeah, and then the fights were pretty, and like one of you guys said, like I think it's the first arc in New World where like where the Straughts are tested after the time skip training. Doflamingo fight and Luffy fight I think was pretty good as well. Not quite as good as Katakuri, but I think it's up there.
It's absolutely agree.
But yeah, so that's Dressrosa for me. I think unless I'm forgetting something. Yeah, so that's Dressrosa. Punk Hazard. So I rank Punk Hazard a little bit above Dressrosa. I think it's the first. I think it's the first domino like pretty much it. I think it's the first chapter,
Hmm.
which pretty much lays out what goes on for the rest of the new world, like
Hmm.
of the new world half of the story. It 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 gives you an outline of what's going to happen going forward with Kaido, the Smile Factory, um, how it all play out, how it all play out progressively to Wano. Um, Also, again, like you guys touched on, Law's backstory with what's his name, Dolphy's brother,
Warzone. I
Warzone.
think that happens
Corazon.
in Dressrosa, doesn't it?
Oh, does it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it was
so.
a Dressrosa thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, man. I must have. Yeah, I probably got that mixed up then. I probably should have ranked Dressrosa above Punk Hazard because that's the reason why I put Punk Hazard above Dressrosa.
Oh shit.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel
so yeah.
swapsies.
So I probably should have ranked Dressrosa above Punk Hazard then. Um, but yeah. So anyway, like I'm a big yeah. So I'm a big fan of Laws and Corazon's backstory.
Yes, sir.
Uh, yeah, that's probably definitely one of the probably the best non-Strahd backstory out there so
Mhm.
far. Um,
Agreed.
yeah, one of the very in-depth. I mean, most backstories are pretty sad, but I think Laws is up there. Definitely he kind of gives me like main character vibes, honestly. Law
Yeah.
with his backstory.
It's like he could be like another like protagonist for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Law. Like I look at Law, he's one of the very few characters in One Piece who could have his own series, like his own spin-off series.
That would be interesting.
I think. Um, but so yeah, and then Skypiea. Honestly, I feel like I should put Skypiea on the lower B now. Now that I think about it, like below Punk Hazard and Dressrosa. But I think the biggest impact for Skype because I'm gonna count that scene at that bar before they entered Skypiea.
Oh, Jaya.
What's it?
Jaya.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
Blackbeard and
Yeah.
the
yeah.
cherry pies.
I put that together with Skypiea. Um,
Mm.
like it's a very I don't want to call it an underrated scene, but I think it reminded me a lot of that scene with Shanks in the beginning of the series where he saw the mountain bandits as like not worth their time because they were, like they seemed small and petty compared to Shanks.
Mhm.
And that scene at the bar with Luffy and Zoro, and then
Mhm.
Bellamy and his crew, like it gave me that sense of how even that early on in the series, and maybe like halfway through pre-time skip, it kind of gave you that sense of big growth already with the Straw Hats.
Hmm.
And I mean, it was just a badass scene, like
It is.
Oh,
It
yeah.
absolutely is.
I seen a thing where it was kind of like introducing Dofi, where or I forgot who it was talking about, but they start like menacing, they start in some menacing ways, but then over here the most menacing fucking villain in all of One Piece gets introduced over cherry pies and drinks and stuff.
yeah,
So
Yep.
it's pretty funny
Yeah.
how they do that, and then he's friendly with Luffy and all that, so it's kind of gnarly. That is a heavy scene right there for sure.
Yeah. That's part of the reason why I love Blackbeard too.
yeah.
Is
And then
everything
and
down to his introduction and mystery.
yeah, and then to touch on that as well, it also gave you the introduction to the Blackbeard pirates.
Mhm.
Um, and
I also love how they handled that too, because you're just like, who are all these people that they're showing?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they kind of just show them, and it's just like it has nothing really to do with the arc. It's more of the grander world building.
yeah.
Agreed.
That's like that's kind of like it's one of the bigger world building scenes as well in pre-time skip,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's after that episode where it introduces you to the warlords, I believe, right?
Think so, yeah.
Where it shows
we got Doflamingo and Kuma, yeah.
where it shows one of the one of Blackbeard's crew. I forgot his name, but it's that guy with the top hat, and he
Oh, yeah,
approaches.
yeah.
Something
It starts
love.
with L.
Yeah, him.
Lafayette?
Yeah,
Let's
Yeah.
fact check this.
Though
it shows him.
right.
I kind of want to
'Cause
insert something before we go. Could we speed it up just a little bit, because we're doing like
Okay, yeah.
a little more than 30 minutes per
Okay.
thing.
But so Skypiea, just one more thing about Skypiea. I think Enel is probably one of my most hated villains still. For some
I love
reason
him.
he just
Lafiti. That's the name of him.
Oda just gives you a really good. He does a really good job of making you hate the villain so much, and gives you like that really good sense of, oh man, like when Luffy gives him that final punch, it just gives you like, oh yes, finally, fuck that guy,
Mhm.
And yeah, and that was definitely one of those villains for me. So yeah, that's Skypiea. East Blue, I put it on B because again, it gives it a good foundation for like all the Straw Hats backstories. It gives it gives a good idea of who they are and what their dreams are and what they aspire to be.
Yes, sir.
And kind of like it gives you. I mean, like I look at the Straw Hats as their own main character and their own story. Like I think each of the Straw Hats would be a good protagonist for their own main story. But the way I look at the Straw Hats, it's like a bunch of main characters backing up an upper like a I guess a super main character, for lack of better terms, and that's Luffy, and it gives you their strength of resolve to aspire for their dreams. But the fact that they choose to back Luffy, and they chose Luffy to help them, like make their dreams a reality. Like it just gives you that sense of. It just gives you a better sense of who Luffy is, I think, and I think the East Blue character arcs for the Straw Hats gives you a pretty good picture of that. So yeah, that's East Blue for me. And again, like you guys said, there's a Barity scene. There's Arlong Park. There's all those. So yeah, like a bunch of cool scenes there as well. Saboti. Yeah, again, like I think I already touched up on this. There's multiple episodes in that scene that or end that arc that gives you, you know, like a very very big peak feeling through a long extended time. There's the slave auction when Luffy punches the celestial dragon. That's obviously a very big point in the story. And again, the separation of the Straw Hats. One of Luffy's more, you know, like scenes of despair. Really gives you a sense of Luffy's first, you know, like, I don't want to call it a character flaw, but it shows you a side of Luffy that you've never seen before, and I think Sabaody gives you a good picture of that.
Agreed.
Okay.
And then there's also the introduction of Rayleigh, I think, is what's also pretty cool.
Yep.
Introduces you like the first mate of Roger's crew. I think that's a pretty cool aspect of it. But yeah, I think you guys pretty much touched on Sabaody. Like I agree with you guys for the most part. For the other stuff, Whole Cake. I like Whole Cake. I put an A. A few parts of it felt kind of drawn out. I agree with one of you guys that said that the wedding portion felt a little bit drawn out. Yes. What else? I did find Pudding pretty annoying as well. Did not like her. But the Katakuri fight, I agree, was probably one of Luffy's. I think one of Luffy's. I probably could like a somewhere on top 3 fights of One Piece for Luffy. Yeah. What else? I'm trying like to think really quick. What else? Sanji's promise, or like, I really like the part where one of the parts that had me pretty hard about Whole Cake was when Luffy tells Sanji. I think one of the parts that hit me real hard about Whole Cake was the one scene where Luffy says he cannot be Pirate King without Sanji. I think that's pretty hard hitting. That's a very powerful scene from Luffy and Sanji.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought you would have chosen the one Luffy ate the muddy food after starving himself.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah,
Oh,
that too, and yeah.
I forgot about that actually.
Yeah, so
And also the part where, you know, like where Luffy just pretty much lets Sanji beat him up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't fight back.
Yeah. That's hits me hard. It's as powerful, I think, as when Luffy and Usopp had that duel in Water 7. But yeah, so that's Whole Cake for me. Zoe, I put Zoe up there because I'm just a big fan of not character, but world building arcs. I think that's one of the best things I like about One Piece, I guess, is just how big the world is, how deep it is.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, not a whole lot of action, obviously. It does give you a first peek of Kaido's crew with Jack. But yeah, I put Zoe up there just because of the world building, basically. Water 7 again. It really puts all the Straw Hats in it puts all of them like on a highlight with each of their duels with CP9. One of Robin's I think it's definitely Robin's peak moments.
Yeah.
It shows you a different side of her character, because up until then, you know, like she's very mysterious. And then Water 7 was like her first big reveal as to who she really is.
Yeah, really removed the mystery from her.
Yeah,
Made her a very fleshed out character.
yeah, it did. Also gives you more information about the ancient weapons. You know, like yeah, and there's also some world building in there with you know, like towards the end, with the introduction of not in the introduction of Garp, but once Garp arrives, gives you more, gives you more info towards the Yonko, the New World.
Yeah.
Opens it up more. I think it's also one of the first few peaks of hockey. Like it gives you like a really subtle
Yeah,
hint to it
Garp
with
hitting
Garp hitting Luffy. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're
Also,
like, wait, why does that hurt him? He's a rubber man.
yeah. Sanji said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? So yeah, that's also a first mention of Vegapunk, or one of the first mention of Vegapunks. So yeah, there's that. Egghead. Honestly, I probably should have put Egghead on lower S, but since it's not nearly done yet, I want to give it more time before I put an S. But since I can't spoil it too much for stuff, I'll just leave it with everything you guys said previously. Yeah, so like there's a bunch of announcements by Vegapunk. I'm not gonna mention more than that. Pretty much gives you a lot of the stuff that we've been waiting for in the past 2 decades.
Yep.
So
Yep.
honestly, like there's potential that I might put it above. I might put it between Wano and Summit War, depending on how it finishes.
Okay.
But yeah, so right now I'm gonna put it in upper A. So yeah, that's A tier for me. For Reverie, again, I'm just a big fan of world building arcs. I think Reverie is probably the best. It's just full world building. Gives you. It pretty much gives you the first reveal of what's not just like, not just the like. I keep calling it the G7 summit, but like,
the World Economic Forum.
yeah, the world.
That's hilarious.
Like, what is it? The it's not the Reverie, but what are it is a Reverie, like a gathering.
Yeah, I think it's the Reverie is what they call it in.
Okay, so it is a Reverie. Yeah, so it just doesn't give you the first reveal of the Reverie, but it also gives you the first reveal of there's actually someone on top of the Celestial Dragons, or not the Celestial Dragons, but the
on top of the 5 elders.
The 5 elders.
Yeah.
The chair that no one's supposed to sit in, but that fool's sitting in it anyways. Like,
yeah. Like I remember first reading, because I actually read. I think it was the Reverie was when I just started reading the manga, like from then on, like 90% of the time. So when I first read this in the manga, like it gave like, because Reverie in the manga, like you're actually like that's way you're like what, like 1,000 chapters in already, or almost 1,000 chapters in,
Basically,
and
yeah.
You're so deep in the story now, but then like the Reverie gave you like, oh shit, like there's like, I thought I knew everything, but then there's more. Like, like you hit the bottom of, like you hit rock bottom, but then like you find out that there's still more below the rock. Like that's kind of like my way of putting it.
Yeah, or like beneath the iceberg, right?
Yeah. Like you thought you hit the bottom of the iceberg, but then there's more in the bottom of the iceberg.
Yeah.
So Reverie kind of gave you that feeling for me, or gave me that feeling. So there's more towards the world, even being that deep in the story. So yeah, that's why I put Reverie up there, on top of me liking world building arcs. So that's Reverie. Summit War, again, I think you guys already touched up on this. First reveal of the first Yonko crew, like what they're capable of. One of the first major battle scenes in the story. Big fan of Whitebeard battling the Marines. Shanks making his reveal.
Yep.
A lot of the characters just all over the place, fighting each other. Also gives you a sense of how much Luffy has yet to progress, because it made Luffy feel pretty small compared to the rest of the other characters.
Yeah.
It really made Luffy feel very, very small, I guess, in the big picture. Like him being the main character, it still gave him. Oda did a good job of, like him being. He still had a lot of room to grow, basically.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, and then it gave you a lot of a little bit of what maybe future backstories between some characters are, like, you know, like Crocodile and Whitebeard, for example. Yeah, so there's that. Wano. Well, I'm just gonna touch on a few things here in Wano. Kaido is probably my favorite villain. I look at Kaido kind of like, one way I can look at Kaido is I look at Kaido kind of like I look at Kaido as Luffy, as if Luffy failing to Luffy failing to achieve his dream, basically. Like that's how I look at Kaido.
Mm.
He's Luffy as if Luffy failed to achieve to be Pirate King.
Fucking drunk, trying to kill himself.
Yeah, like that's how I look at Kaido. Like he's Luffy as if Luffy failed to be Pirate King.
Okay.
Because you know, like he does, because he has that Joy Boy smile. You know, like that's why I see him as kind of like the dark, like a darker Luffy, I guess.
Mm.
Because King kind of touches up on that. Like he's like, I can see you as the next Joy Boy. Because I don't know, like just Kaido's, as short as Kaido's backstory is, King's faith in Kaido kind of like gave me that impression, I guess. Maybe that's just me being naive, but yeah.
I think I get where you're coming from, especially with how I don't know if you know if this exists, but Oda has made these alternate versions of the characters where how they would be if they didn't achieve their dreams.
Oh, the distorted futures. I love it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
cool.
really? I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting that you brought up that how Kaido can kind of be a distorted Luffy. It's not that him making distorted Luffy was much like Kaido, but it's definitely like it could be possible. You know, there's infinite possibilities with those kinds of things.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that, and then a couple other things. Obviously, like you guys mentioned, Odin's backstory is probably one of the best non-short backstories out there.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but you know, like within his backstory, it also gave you the first. You know, it gave you the first. It's also Whitebeard's backstory in a way as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, true.
Also gave you a first reveal of Roger's crew, like what his crew was like. Gave you a bit of an outline to their travels and how they eventually got to the One Piece. There's that, and then obviously like the action scenes were pretty much up there. First reveal of Gear 5. Sanji's, Zoro's battles were pretty top notch, I think. Jinbei joining the crew. Obviously, their new bounties also made Luffy Emperor. So, yeah, that's my tier list.
Hell yeah, yeah. I think because you were the only one with Wano that high. I do respect it. Wano's fun. Wano's a fun ass arc.
Yeah, I respect it as well.
Yeah,
it's interesting, entertaining.
Yeah, facts. Though I'm gonna try and switch this up on the streaming, just because I want to see your guys' face when I put my react on, and then also Kick, YouTube, and Twitch. You guys are gonna have to come over to Rumble to see this because I feel like it's gonna be pretty funny. So if y'all can tap in on Rumble, and thank you for joining.